It's perigee, when the moon draws closest to Earth. Twice a year, the equinox locks the sun, moon and Earth into alignment, releasing the force of the king tides across Asia's shores. In the estuary of the Qiantang River in China, the surge threatens the defences of the city of Hangzhou.
所以说，对于当地的老百姓来讲，他要把这个海棠做好，这是他生存的一个问题。
When the sea rises in Bangladesh, many have no choice but to leave everything behind.
30 বার এরকম 20-30 বার ঘর ভেঙে।
On the coastline of South Korea, the expansion of industry has disrupted the natural rhythm of tides, devastating its wildlife.
조개를 껍데기를 다 죽어서 이렇게 벌어져 있는 완전히 널브러져. 처참했어요.
Every April, as mangroves bloom, the king tides make the deeper areas of the Sundarbans forests accessible. It's the moment honey hunters have been waiting for all year.
দ্বিতীয়ত জঙ্গলেও যাওয়া যায় না, কোনো জায়গা যাওয়া যায় না। হ্যাঁ, ছোট কানে 2 কান, মানে এই বাঘটা ঘুরি এই বাঘে আসলে হবে না। এখানটায় কি উঠপানে কামিং। এমনি মধু সংগ্রহ করতে গেলে সামনের মাথায় বাঘ পড়িছে, মনে করেন বাঘ, আমরা হাইটে যাইতেছি, ও পাশ কাটি চলে গেছে। হ্যাঁ, বাঘ আমি দেখেছি আমার সামনে পড়েছে, কিন্তু এই মধু সংগ্রহ করার সময় নয়। না না,
It's an important time for Zafar. This year, he hopes to move to a new home with his family before the arrival of the king tide. He'll need every taka he can make from the honey harvest.
বাইরে হয় হয় হয়।
এই কেন আছে এটা হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ বলবে জ্বর আসবে, জ্বর জ্বর জ্বর। ও আসে আল দিলে জ্বর আসবে, জ্বর জ্বর, অসুস্থ। মানে গুটলি ডুক বাদ জায়গায় মৌজা ডুক আছে, সে ডুক রাখতে হয়, নিতে হয়, আর বাকি গুটলি ডুক থাকে ওই জায়গায়, আবার পোকটা বসে আবার চাকে রস করে।
এরা কাটাই গেছে, এরা নামিয়ে পড়তেছি।
7 দিনের যাত্রায় যদি মধু ভালো মেলে, ভালো পাওয়া যায়, তাহলে 200 কেজি, 250 কেজি, 300 কেজি পাওয়া যায়।
সাদা দিয়ে ফ্রেশ।
আমি বছরে 1 লাখ টাকা ইনকাম করি। কোনো সময় মেটে মুখোমুখি হয়, কোনো সময় মেটে না। আবার কোনো সময় মেলা শর্ট পড়ে যায়। আমার এই যে জোয়ার ভাটার চাপে নদী ভাঙনে আমার বছরে ওই ঘর বাঁধতেই আমার 30,000 টাকাতে ব্যয় হয়ে যায়।
Like 50 other families, Zafar's house is one of the hanging homes, which has been cut off from the rest of Kalabagi.
চাবি কই? এই জোয়ার বেশি হলে তো ভাসি যেতে পারে। ওই ব্যাগের ভিতরে ওটা গোছায় রাখো। ওই ঘর 30 বার এরকম 20-30 বার ঘর ভেঙে নিয়ে এনে অনেক করে করে বাইন্ধে পাঁচ কাটা জায়গায় ওই জায়গায় ঘরটা নিয়ে বান্ধার মতো, মানে কয় মাপের জন্য যায় আপাতত ওই জায়গায় থাকতে পারি, তাকে জন্য একটু লেখাপড়া শেখাইতে পারি, নিজেরা জন্য একটু মাল জিনিস কটাই বাজাতে রাখতে পারি।
Over the last few decades, many Bangladeshi scientists and planners have tried to limit the damage brought about by the king tides in the Sundarbans, but to no avail. From Dhaka, 2 young geographers have come to see what else can be done.
কালাবুগি হচ্ছে সুন্দরবন কোস্টাল এরিয়ার একটা ছোট্ট গ্রাম। কারণ এখানে একই সাথে আপনি দ্য লার্জেস্ট ন্যাচারাল ম্যানগ্রোভ ফরেস্ট, সুন্দরবন, রিভার অ্যান্ড দ্য হিউম্যান সেটেলমেন্ট, তিনটা একসাথে পাচ্ছি আমরা। এমন একটা ইউনিক প্লেস, সেটাই কালাবুগি। এখানে দেখ, এই জিও ব্যাগগুলো তুই সব জায়গায় পাবি না। এখানে যেরকম দেখতে পাচ্ছিস, হয়তো কিছু কিছু জায়গাতে দেয়া আছে যেখানে ভাঙনটা বেশি। এটা হচ্ছে হলো মেইন এই ভিলেজটাকে প্রোটেক্ট করার জন্য মেইন এমব্যাঙ্কমেন্ট হচ্ছে হলো যেখানে আমরা দাঁড়ায় আছি। এটা
গভর্নমেন্ট থেকে বানানো জিও ব্যাগগুলোর ভিতরে মেইনলি
দিস আর দ্য স্যান্ড
আছে না?
জিও ব্যাগগুলো স্যান্ড দ্বারাই ফিল করা থাকে, কিন্তু এর একটাই উদ্দেশ্য, সেটা হচ্ছে হলো
Implemented solutions include flood defense, embankments, polders, and forecasting systems designed to manage the incoming water.
তখন জিও ব্যাগ সেটাকে প্রোটেক্ট করবে, যে কারণে কাইনেটিক এনার্জি কমে যাবে পানির।
These fabric fortifications first appeared in the early 2000s. From 12 kilometers in 2008 to more than 70 kilometers of embankments today, their impact remains difficult to measure.
তখন এগুলো এমনিতেই ছিঁড়ে যাবে। তুমি যখন এগুলো টান দিবা, এগুলো আস্তে আস্তে এই পান নিচে থাকতে থাকতে নষ্ট হয়ে যাবে। কিন্তু এটার চেয়ে বেটার সলিউশন হচ্ছে যদি কংক্রিটের ব্লক ইউজ করা যায়। এবং এইখানে যে এমব্যাঙ্কমেন্ট দেখতে পাচ্ছি আমরা, এটা পুরোটাই সয়েল দ্বারা, only soil material.
The Sundarbans is the largest low-lying delta plain on Earth. Over 60% of it sits less than 3 meters above sea level, leaving its shores particularly vulnerable to surging tides.
Sea level is rising. এবং কোস্টাল এরিয়ার যে লোল্যান্ডগুলো আছে সেগুলো ইনান্ডেড হয়ে যাবে সামটাইম, যেটা বলাও হয়েছে আইপিসিসি থেকে। আইপিসিসি থেকে বলা হয়েছে যে 2050 সাল নাগাদ প্রায় বাংলাদেশের 3.5 কোটি মানুষ ক্লাইমেট রিফিউজি হবে।
In just 30 years, Bangladesh has lost 2,399 square kilometers of coastline, an area larger than London, swallowed by the sea. Scientists are racing to track these vanishing shores, but the land is disappearing faster than they can map it.
বাট এটা হচ্ছে 8-এও যদি আমরা চিন্তা করি, দেখো, দ্যাটস দ্য পয়েন্ট, হ্যাঁ, here to here it is 289 meter. Then let me show you, এটা 2024-এর একদম লাস্ট মোমেন্ট। হ্যাঁ, এখানে যদি আমরা রুলারটা নিয়ে দেখি, দিস ইজ দ্য পয়েন্ট অ্যাকচুয়ালি। ইটস অলমোস্ট 342 অর্থাৎ একটা পয়েন্টে রিভারে গত 16 বছর 15 থেকে 16 বছরের মধ্যে 50 মিটার ইরোশনের কারণে এইখানে চেঞ্জ হয়েছে। এটা জাস্ট একটা পয়েন্টের ক্ষেত্রে, এবং এরকম ভালনারেবল পয়েন্ট এই রিভারের ক্ষেত্রে আরও আছে, যেটা কালাবাগির আশেপাশেই। সো আমরা যদি সেটা মেজার করতে পারি তাহলে দেখা যাবে যে এই ইরোশনটা কন্টিনিউয়াস প্রসেসে চলছে একটার পর একটা।
In the city of Hangzhou, the Qiantang River and its tidal spectacles have given birth to myths and legends.
也就是说，这条钱塘江，
Wu Lina is the custodian of the river's traditions
叫钱
and the human struggle with its furies.
这钱塘江呢，原来的名字呢比较多的有浙江、枝江，还有罗刹江。特别是罗刹江这个名字啊，罗刹在古代的时候是吃人的魔鬼的意思。那在这里呢，就是将钱塘江称为罗刹江的意思，可以说是波涛汹涌。在这里面，它引发的潮灾，然后呢，使得很多人。钱塘江大潮不是一般的潮。
At the equinox, the conjunction of sun and moon creates powerful king tides. As these enter the estuary of the Qiantang River, a huge wave is generated, a tidal bore which surges inland towards Hangzhou. It's known as the Silver Dragon.
它是世界2大强潮涌之一。那么另外一个呢，就是亚马逊潮。所以说，如果说发生潮灾的话，对于老百姓来讲，就意味着生灵涂炭，意味着我的田没了，我的家没了，我的亲人都没了。 首先，它的高度，它的水位非常高，它最高的水位呢可以达到9.6米，相当于3、4层楼这么高。第二个呢，它的冲击的速度是很快的，40、50公里每小时吧。第三个，速度快，高度高。第三个，它的力度还非常的强，每1平方米它的冲击力可以达到7吨。 因为这个潮水来势太凶猛了，我用几个数据来说明一下。这个钱塘江的潮水非常的凶猛，里面呢有这个凶猛的这个叫潮神。他要过来要把这个杭州城给淹没了，所以呢，钱流呢就带着500个士兵。 站在这个钱塘江潮，对着潮水进行射箭，就是希望我能够用箭，我就能把潮水射退。那是事实证明，你单纯用箭根本无法做到，你必须就指的是造海棠，你才能够真正的把潮水给阻挡住了。
Many coastal cities in China face rising seas. But Hangzhou stands apart, shaped by a tidal bore, a rare force found in over 300 places on Earth, but nowhere with such ferocity.
一开始是土夯实，不行， 怎么办呢？我就在土外面加石头，行不行？一冲就垮，还是不行。那再接下去呢？那我就土作为辅助支撑，我用石头行不行？而且呢，这些石头呢，如果说是乱石堆一样的，也很容易就是被冲垮，也不行。那么它从土变成了石，将石头呢装进了这个竹笼里啊。那么这是第一次，不行。所以说，对于当地的老百姓来讲，他要把这个海棠做好，这是他生存的一个问题。
For centuries, Chinese builders have searched for ways to tame the surge.
第三次呢，就是五纵五横的黄光深的鱼鳞塘，就是以梯形的逐渐递减的这个方式啊向上，而且呢，这个五纵五横鱼鳞塘呢，它是没有任何的粘合剂的，它依靠的就是石缝之间的紧贴密缝。那么这个鱼鳞塘呢，它就是不再以土作为它的主体结构，而是以石头作为它的主体结构。所以这个海棠呢，在1724年的时候是经历过考验的。当时呢，由于这个8月18潮，还有加上台风的来临，可以说是双重的打击下啊，所以呢，掀起了一场特大的潮灾。其他的塘呢都被冲垮了，但是只有这500丈大塘是一点事儿都没有。后来呢，就作为样塘加以推广。
200 kilometers of concrete and steel guard Hangzhou Bay's southwest edge, not to stop the silver dragon, but to tame it. The sea wall doesn't block the Qiantang's tidal fury. It can't. Instead, it does something more cunning. It redirects the beast.
那么海棠的历史呢是非常悠久的，它的跨度达到2000多年。往里面投资的这个就是投入的成本是非常巨大的，也可以看出了他们的决心，就是一定要把钱塘江两岸的这个土地还有老百姓的生命财产给守护住。它彻底扭转了这个人潮来人退的被动局面。那这70多年来，这个老百姓呢，因为围垦啊，所以呢，将这边的土地呢，就是钱塘江变成了土地。但是这个围垦啊，并不是说是新中国的产物，其实它自古以来都是有的。所以我们才能够，杭州才能够从非常小的县城变成了大城市。
In the 21st century, the battle with the river's tidal fury continues. Here at the Zhejiang Institute of Hydraulics and Estuary, engineers are developing cutting-edge technologies to master the tides.
就是第一次看到的是这个钱塘江大潮的时候，感觉就是课本里的那个画面是一模一样的。然后课文里面当时讲的就是说是千军万马奔腾过来的那个感觉，然后当时看到的就这种感觉。
我们现在抬到的是0.75，就0.8左右这样的一个速度。
那就是到时候的话，冲刷完的话再去测这个冲刷深度是吧？
对对对，是的，是的。
1572.48。
你可能比较偏就是岩土方向的材料，就是岩石和那个土壤。对，你可以理解为就是相当于这个是我们人造的一种水泥土，可以这么理解。
88，1米1.1米2。
好，就是说，就是这个 材料的话，就是它是一个淤泥里面加了一些固化剂，比如像水泥啊、氧化钙这些固化剂，然后使它具有就是一定的这个凝结的强度。你可以把它理解成一种人造的水泥土。
它这个还短短的。
In the wild, the boar destroys anything in its path, including scientific instruments. But in the lab, researchers can cage the dragon. Scaled channels, tens of meters long, adjustable slopes, precision sensors tracking every turbulent pulse. It's the only way to decode a force too savage to measure where it lives.
然后我们现在做这个实验呢，相当于就是这个水流往这边流，然后看它的这个抗冲刷能力。就比如说，我们是逐级的增加这个水流速度，从0.2一直增加到1.2米每秒，然后看这个式样，这些土它大概在什么时候会被完全冲刷掉，然后来大概测一下它这个抗冲刷的能力大概有多少。然后这个材料呢，它是可以应用在就是这个风机的抗冲刷，然后还有堤坝的抗冲刷这一方面。 主要是这些。
In tidal rivers, nothing happens quickly. Months of testing, years of refinement.
So you are here in a region which is in very large development. You are between Shanghai and Hangzhou. There's also a lot of urbanization further south. In China, they wanted to be able to facilitate crossing across the Qiantang River.
Professor Hubert Chanson has spent years studying tidal bores and the way they surge, scour, and reshape riverbeds.
Recently, during the construction of a bridge, they observed some very large scour. It's related to turbulence. So as you have your impact, the flow is going around the bridge pier and is generating some three-dimensional turbulence that will lead to the scour of the riverbed. At some stage, the net scour rate was 1 meter per day. That brings the question of how deep do we need to drive the piles? On some places, the piles could be 30 meter, 50 meter deep. It's massive.
In China, Hangzhou is bracing for the coming king tide. As man and machine reinforce the dikes, boats make their retreat from the river to safer waters.
但是呢，也是属于8月份潮水是相对比较大的。
Huang Shidong knows from experience that the silver dragon is dangerously unpredictable.
然后我已经退到安全的位置了。 我觉得是很安全了，因为以前我都是无人机拍的嘛，空中的视角。我想今天拍一个地面的视角，看看怎么样。然后潮水来的时候呢，冰上有很多人，我说让他们都小心一点啊，因为潮水有可能会上岸的。可是意外出现了。 整个潮水就是打了好几米高，把我整个都扑住了。肯定是既害怕，又不想离得太远，因为我想拍到那种壮观的，冲天的那种箭头。啊，所以这个是一个矛盾，你退到很远你就拍不到，所以摄影师就是一个。 很有挑战的这种工作，你要离得很近，然后你就想拍到东西，但是呢，你有可能还有危险。潮水它的魅力就是天天不一样，天天有惊喜，你只要勤劳。
Shidong now depends on the dangerous power of the tide to make a living. He uploads his drone footage on social media, and several of his videos have crossed the 7 million mark.
而且我到现在我还觉得，我还没有真正的拍到钱塘江美的这种最近。
The silver dragon is born where the river meets the sea. At the equinox, the king tide surges into the estuary and overwhelms the flow of the river in the opposite direction. The result is a rampaging wave front that can penetrate tens of kilometers upriver. French surfer Anthony Collat hopes to ride the boar on its journey inland. This is an extremely risky challenge, even for an expert. And things could go very wrong very quickly if he doesn't find the right spot to enter the silver dragon.
Having a view, overall view of the river here can be very helpful to find new spots and identify new sections of the rivers. But when you want to combine two spots, like a viewing spot and a surfing spot, then you have to rush. Now, for the last 30 seconds, I can feel the wind, so that's like a sign the boar is coming. Now I can see it clearly. Yeah, I can see that bump. We can see the white line over there. It's actually going faster. It's time to move now. Let's rush. I catch quite a few ocean waves, and I like them. I love it. What's so special about boars is it's continuous, and it's traveling alongside the river, going uphill, which is against the flow. Yeah, that rush sometimes can last for a few hours, especially here in China. If you'd have the resource, you could follow that boar from the first bridge to like the end of the Fushun River for 6 hours. Like if you'd had to do that game for 6 hours, it'd be well, it'd be like a long race.
It looks like a wave, but scientists call it a hydraulic jump, a tidal shock front, born when the ocean is forced upriver faster than the water can escape. Wave or not, it's never stopped surfers from chasing the dragon's fury, a dare as old as the river itself.
It's been a cultural challenge to bridge the gap in between Chinese ancient culture and surf culture.
His Excellency Jacob Zuma, President of South Africa. His Excellency Justin Trudeau.
At the beginning, I found one poem that is quite famous and has been quoted by President Xi during the 2016 G20 summit that speak about the children of the tides.
这几天啊，正值钱塘江大潮。中国有个诗句啊，叫做“弄潮儿像抛头笠，手把红旗旗不湿”。我同各位一样，期待着20国集团啊，勇做世界经济的弄潮儿。相信，在各方一道努力下，杭州峰会一定会取得成功。
Swimming against the waves and standing up, it became an obsession. It became a sort of obsession. The obsession was about finding traces of that wave and of the people that were playing with the tide in literature. From that, I found more poems and in particular one first-hand account and it's a first-hand account of a parade, of an event that was happening on the 15th day of the 8th lunar month in Hangzhou during the Song dynasty. The book name is called Ancient Matter from the Wuling Garden. And this parade was a military inspection parade. And then when the tide arrived, the boats would retreat and the surfers would come out. It describes them as standing up on wooden boards, appearing and disappearing among Leviathan waves, holding flags without even letting the tail of their flag get minimally wet. We know from the chronicles that the children of the tide were young fishermen. So having someone that can defeat the wave was a way to show that they were in control of it. The children of the tide have always been seen as revolutionaries. In a certain way, someone who would flamboyantly do something dangerous. Many revolutions in Chinese history have happened following rivers. So even the word Chao, which is tide in Chinese, has several different meanings, and one of them is revolution.
These are the Getbols, vast mudflats on South Korea's south and west coasts. The mudflats are unique worlds, home to a rich menagerie of wildlife. Parts of the Getbols are a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And yet, in many areas, these unique tidal systems are still under threat.
지금 서울로 가고 있고요. 서울 행정법원에 가고 있어요.
Oh Dong-Pil has devoted his life to defending imperiled Getbols in South Korea.
저희가 새만금 갯벌 중에 수라 갯벌이라는 게 있는데요. 그게 만경수역에 남아있는 마지막 갯벌이에요. 그래서 개발로 인해서 사라지는 것 중에 수라 갯벌이 사라지면 안 되기 때문에 그걸 지켜야 된다. 그래서 그 장소에 신공항 계획이 있어요.
거의 2년 동안 이렇게 이 자리에 여러 번 왔는데요. 오늘 사실은 원래 7차 재판이
그걸 짓지 마라 라고 얘기하는 거죠. 법적 싸움을 하고 있는 거죠.
오늘 사실은 원래 7차 재판이 마지막 재판이라고 하는 언사를 했는데 마지막은 아닐 것 같고 어찌됐든 거의 끝까지 왔다 이렇게 생각하시면 될 것 같습니다. 우리는 희망을 갖고 있습니다.
정부가 이제 어떻게든 개발을 하려고 하니까 우리가 법적 싸움까지도 가는 거예요. 재판부도 야 얘네들 진짜 지독하다. 어떻게 이렇게까지 왔는지에 대해서 몸소 느꼈으면 하는 바입니다. 절해하라! 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 30년 전에는 그런 계획이나 그림들이 보여지지 않았기 때문에 사람들이 약간의 가상적 희망에 대한 열망들이 있었어요. 이미 30년이 지나봤잖아요. 이미 20년이 지나봤는데 그 결과물들이 다 나온 거예요. 이미. 그런데 그게 다 무너졌다는 거죠.
Since 1991, a huge development known as the Saemangeum project has taken up 400 square kilometers, some of which is on reclaimed land, erasing landscapes and livelihoods in the process.
우리나라는 어떻게 보면 가슴 아픈 역사를 겪었는데 그게 바로 간척의 역사입니다. 그 당시 가장 큰 목적은 넓이 넓은 저 그레이 에어리아, 죽은 땅 같은 갯벌을 매립을 해서
Korea's central spine of mountains make up 70% of its landmass. As its population grew after the war, tremendous pressure focused on the narrow coastal areas where flat land was scarce and valuable.
그러면서 당시 우리나라는 경제 개발이 필요했고 그 갯벌을 그렇게 이제 새로운 땅을 만들 수 있는 그냥 공간으로 보다 더 인식을 했던 거죠.
Then, in the 1960s, as South Korea took the path of export-led economic development, this pressure on the coastline intensified. Ports, steel mills, factories, and cities spread side by side. Soon, development pushed into the Getbols, consuming their unique ecology. In 1991, the world's largest reclamation project, the Saemangeum development, started. Engineers cut off the sea by building a 34-kilometre sea wall to transform the Getbols into farmland. Little did the government know then that this would have ecological repercussions.
사에만금이라고 하는 어떤 개발 사업이 사실은 굉장히 큰 만경강 하구를 막은 거죠. 그때부터 굉장히 많이 변했어요.
엄청나게 많은 생물들이 일시에 죽어나가기 시작했습니다. 수많은 조개들이 숨을 쉬지 못해서 위로 이제 올라서 하얗게 메말라 죽는 현상들을 관찰했고요.
조개를 껍데기를 다 죽어서 이렇게 벌어져 있는 모습들이 완전히 널브러져 있었죠. 처참했어요. 완전히 죽음의 들판이었어요.
갯벌의 가치가 이처럼 큼에도 불구하고 한국의 갯벌은 무분별하게 간척되었습니다. 마지막 남은 하구 갯벌인 새만금 갯벌마저 인간의 무지와 탐욕 속에 제 모습을 잃어가고 있습니다.
The Getbols were once a refuge for 300,000 migratory birds on the East Asian Australasian flyway, but no longer.
호주에서 날아온 붉은 어깨 도요가 2004년도 이쯤에 굉장히 많이 날아왔는데요. 그해 가을에 그 8만 마리 이상에 대한 도요새들이 가을에 돌아오지 않았어요. 그것은 뭐냐면 봄에 호주에서 날아온 도요새들이 잘 먹지를 못했어요. 번식도 실패를 많이 하고 이동하면서 많이 죽겠죠.
가서 봐야 될 것 같아요.
여기서는 안 되겠다. 대략만 보고
네.
넘어가서 이제 거머리 갈매기도 날고 다니네.
네네, 몇 마리씩 보이는 것 같아요.
셋. 지금도 새만금을 보면 옛날에 그 어마어마하게 새가 날던 모습들, 그 갯벌에서 조개를 잡는 사람들, 그 갯벌이 느끼는 그 갯벌에서 그 제가 걸었던 때의 느낌, 이런 게 지금도 기억이 나요. 옛날에 군산은 그렇게 자연이 많았어요. 그 모습이 정말 아름다웠거든요. 그 사람들의 움직임, 사람들의 그 숨소리, 막 땀 냄새, 그리고 거기 사람들이 움직이는 어떤 그 생활 소음들이 굉장히 즐비했거든요.
Cut off from the ocean and the churn of tides, the water trapped behind the sea wall quickly turned stagnant and unusable.
갯벌을 포기한 대가가 얼마나 큰지를 경험한 사람들은 이제 더 이상 갯벌이 사라지는 것을 보고만 있을 수는 없습니다.
By the mid-1990s, locals had had enough. Fishermen whose livelihoods vanished. Communities who watched an ecosystem suffocate. Their protest became a movement. NGOs joined. Thousands filled the streets. Finally, the authorities yielded. The gates were opened once a day, allowing limited seawater exchange. But the waters remain far from restored today. Dong-Pil is still closely monitoring the landscape.
여기 있죠, 여기. 이 지점 준설하잖아요. 이 지점 한번 가보려고 그래요. 그래서 갔다가 이렇게 올라고.
근데 준설하는 데로 가고 먼저 찍어놓은 거.
네. 그리고 나서 시간이 되면은 오다가 그러니까 가면서 하면 시간이 부족할 수 있습니다. 그렇게 해서 한 3포인트만 저기.
제가 그 준설 있는 데 갈게.
예. 네, 출발하셔도 될 것 같아요. 자, 오케이. 여기서 합시다. 이게 이제 한 50cm 정도 들어갔을 때를 그냥
걸려들어 수치를.
여기 보시면 지금 염분을 측정하는 거죠. 26퍼밀. 26퍼밀이라고 하는 거는 염도가 굉장히 높은 거죠.
The water looks clean, innocent even. Last night's sluice gate opening saw to that. A brief flood to mask the damage. But the surface can be deceiving. The real story of these stolen tides exists below.
살짝 기울여봐요. 물 빠지게.
여기 잘 보시면 이거 혹시 이 색깔 보이시죠? 이 표층으로 갈색 기운이 돌고 이 밑으로는 다 까맣죠. 이거는 뭐냐면 장기적으로 좀 긴 시간 동안 혐기가 진행이 됐었고, 그리고 며칠 동안은 이 호기 상태가 이루어졌을 때 이렇게 나와요. 그러니까 매일 하루도 멈추면 안 돼요. 이 바닷물 순환은. 물이 정체되고 그곳은 썩게 돼요. 그러니까 새우나 아니면 기타 꽃게라든지 바닥에 사는 저소생물이 그곳에 살 수가 없어요. 과거에 2만 명가량의 어민들이나 관련한 사람들이 거기서 먹고 살았잖아요. 그 지역에 있는 공동체가 다 파괴됐어요. 그로 인해서 농지를 만들고 좀 더 풍요로운 것들을 주겠다고 했지만 사실은 바다가 주는 것들이 더 많았어.
In the next episode, as the king tide reaches its climax, it forces the ultimate choice to stay or to leave. In South Korea, some battles are still worth fighting to save the Getbols.
내리만 하지 않으면 그 변화되는 모습 다 아름답다.
뛰는 이런 이제 무언가 보이는.
In China, as the year's strongest tidal bore nears, excitement builds, but concerns rise.
When I wait for the tidal bore, I have to anticipate the fact that it's a one-shot.